Hey, welcome back to another episode of Inquisitively Me. I'm Mary, a life coach, a mom, and someone who's, well, inquisitive. Today we are tackling the issue of loneliness and forming meaningful connections and friendships as adults. I think we take for granted how much easier it was to create friendships when we were kids. Whether it was play dates, the playground, daycare, or school, there were systems for us to create friendships, spaces where we did not have much choice but to interact with others. I think there was also this freedom many of us had as kids, freedom to be truly ourselves, not care as much for what others have to say. Such a lack of self consciousness, in my opinion. And as we grew, that began to change. Pleasing others grew, expectations grew, responsibilities changed. Loneliness is something many of us experience, yet it's often hard to talk about. It's something we want to hide. We can't show the world that we're lonely. We need to show how fulfilling our lives are and how fulfilled and happy we are. Loneliness carries shame. It can feel isolating and make us question, how did we even get here? Or what's wrong with me? But it's important to know, and I really don't intend to make this a pun. You're not alone in feeling that way. There are times we feel lonely. I think it's a natural human experience. However, I think there are a couple of key things to consider. How long that feeling lasts, and if you attach that feeling to not being worthy. In other words, feeling lonely triggers a feeling of worthlessness, or you think you are feeling lonely because you are worthless or not good enough. That's where we get into unhealthy territory. Like I mentioned, it's a natural human experience. This feeling is in no way a reflection of your worth. If anything, it's a sign that a need may not be met. It's okay to feel lonely, and it's also okay to desire connections. Today we will get into some practical steps you can take to make new friends as an adult and build those meaningful relationships and connections I think we all really crave. So we know the structure of our lives change over time. We move for jobs, we go through breakups, divorce, and overall, the individuals we are friends with change over the years for many different reasons. So, what can we do to overcome these challenges? How do we begin the process of making new friends as adults? You have got to put yourself in situations where you can meet new people. This could be volunteering, joining a pickleball recreational class or team, going to a pottery class, going to eat dinner at the bar of a restaurant. Yeah, that may be alone, but try it. You have to take up a hobby, attend community events, and really get out there. Seems simplistic, but I know it isn't. It's uncomfortable to get out of your comfort zone, out of your norm, but when you want something new, you often have to. It's a challenge, but my hope for you is that even though it may seem scary initially, you will be thankful you showed up to whatever the event is and are thankful that you showed up for yourself in that way. I remember when I first started dancing, I was so nervous. Oh my goodness. I felt like I did not belong. I often told myself, what the heck am I doing here? But I did it nervously. I probably survived with my nervous laugh and smile throughout the first few classes, and little by little, I felt more comfortable. I have been bachata dancing for almost 2 years now, and I still feel uncomfortable at times, but it's much, much less than before. The fun and value I get from it, not only learning a skill, but being part of an awesome community, outweighs the awkward moments and feeling those nerves. I was able to not only meet people who share similar joy or interests, but it really grew my confidence aside from the skill itself. I proved to myself that I can follow through with something that's socially uncomfortable, which is huge for me. I don't know if you heard the previous episode about social anxiety, but things can get pretty awkward for me. But I can use that as evidence in the future that I can do something else that's socially challenging, because I already did. My advice when you get out there, because you will, is to try your best to be open. Attempt to start a conversation. It can be as simple as complimenting someone or asking for something related to the event. For example, have you been to this class before? What is it like? How long have you been dancing, playing tennis, etc.? And take your time. Be patient. Creating friendships doesn't happen overnight. Continue showing up, be present in the conversations, and be authentic. Hey, if you're nervous, it's okay to say so, because I'm confident others also feel that way currently or have felt that way when they started. Saying you're nervous may be a way to break the ice in conversation. Before moving on, I want to let you know if you ever want to share a story or have a question you want me to answer on an episode, you're welcome to email me and you just might hear it on here. Email me at inquisitivelymepodcast@gmail.com or DM me on Instagram at _inquisitivelymeme. So how do we now turn those initial meetups into lasting friendships? You need to make an effort to stay in touch and follow up with people. I know nowadays people ask for each other's Instagram accounts to stay in touch. In the dance community, I have found people are generally friendly and want to keep in touch to communicate about other dance events in the future, for example. Or many groups have Facebook groups or group messaging chats where you're easily able to stay up to date. That's a way to make sure you stay consistent with showing up to different events or meetups. There has to be consistent effort on your end. I know it's hard work, it's time consuming, but the investment may very well be worth it. Keep putting yourself out there. Also, remember to listen. Maybe it's the therapist and coach in me coming through, but listening is such a powerful tool in helping others feel comfortable and open to you. Listen in conversations and show that you care about what they have to say. Make jokes, keep it light. Easier said than done, but don't overthink it. You want friends who enjoy your authentic self, and if that's more of a shy and awkward or extroverted and playful person, be that. You want people who stick around because they genuinely enjoy your company, not a facade of a person you created. Okay, so you may be thinking, what if I'm rejected? What if I don't connect with people the first few times? We aren't always going to connect with people. Rejection is part of life. However, and this is a huge however, it doesn't define you and your worth. You didn't fail, you aren't less than, you just haven't connected with people yet. Putting yourself out there and allowing and accepting those so-called fails is another step toward building your social skills and confidence. Focus on practicing, focus on the effort you're putting forth instead of emphasizing the outcome. Celebrate the fact that you even went to the event, that you made an effort to connect regardless of the result. Be proud of yourself. I really don't mean that in a cheesy way. I really mean it. You should be proud for going out there and making the effort. Building a community and those long-term connections is important. They take time, but they can also be really, really rewarding. Whether you build them through organizations, hobbies, or you randomly meet someone at a coffee shop, be engaged, be present, and contribute to that relationship. Sure, it helps in not feeling lonely, but there's also a beautiful sense of belonging and purpose, a space where it's yours and you can grow some really meaningful connections. Making friends can be challenging, but it's entirely possible as adults. Put yourself out there, listen, engage, and nurture those relationships. I really hope this episode provided you value. If it did, please like it and give it a rating. That helps to make the podcast more visible to others and grow our Inquisitively Me community. To stay up to date with all of my episodes, the easiest way to do that is by following the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Take care of yourself, keep asking, keep wondering, keep being inquisitively you. Until next time.